Hello my beautiful friends, I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today I want to speak to you about why we pull away from love in all different aspects of our lives, relationships, why we pull away when we are in fear. So without further ado, let's get started. Called to speak to you guys about this today because I know that the state of the world right now is largely in fear. And yes, there are many reasons as to why we may be feeling fear, why we may be getting caught up in that, but I want to create this video for you today to empower you to choose love. Not just through a pandemic, but in other areas of your life as well, and how we can do this. I'm going to start off by giving the example of relationships and pulling away when we are in fear and recognizing why that is, and really just calling us all out on it. Because I know for me personally that this has been a truth of mine that I'm working on shedding, working on eliminating. So during a live stream this morning that Lauren and I actually did in the Queen Mind Tribe, that's our High Vibe Facebook group if you guys haven't joined it yet, we started to speak about our own personal fears when it comes to relationships and what that looks like for us. So I've been pretty open with you guys, especially more recently I dissected why am I still single. I told you guys about my inner narratives and my fears about why I fear giving that part of my heart to someone else, or opening that part of my heart to someone else, I should say. And for me personally, when I'm in fear in a relationship, I tend to retreat. I pull away. Because what's interesting is that in all other aspects of my life, whether it is my friendships, whether it's my business, I love those things. I feel confident in those areas of my life, so I water those gardens. I allow those gardens to grow, bloom, flourish. If anything is like slipping or sliding, I'm there with my can of unconditional love, just like dumping it on and giving it what I can, nourishing it. But because the aspect of relationships, loving relationships, romantic partnerships is an area of my life where I've personally struggled in the past, what I tend to do, the patterns that I tend to fall into is retreating, is hiding, is pulling away, when really a relationship is something that in my future I hope happens. I hope that one day I find a romantic partnership. I'm worked more towards on detaching from wanting that and just allowing it to happen. But what I'm saying is that based on my past and based on a lot of the messaging I see out there when it comes to dating coaches or like dating books, things like that, is telling you to pull away. If you're interested in someone, pull away and they'll come to you. If you're interested in someone, act uninterested and that will get their attention. No, that plays on their own insecurities, and that is going to backfire not just for yourself, but it's also hurting another individual. Playing games hurts another individual, and I think sometimes people don't recognize that they're doing this intentionally or unintentionally, but it's downright not nice, it's not kind, it's not exercising unconditional love. So I know for me personally, when I would retreat, when I would pull away from a loving partnership, it wasn't because I was playing games, it was because I was just scared that I didn't know how to love in this aspect. Whereas something like friendships, I'm so confident in how to give love to all my friends, how to go above and beyond for all of my friends. When it has come to me developing feelings for someone, I get scared. I'm in fear. I'm choosing fear over love, and fear in retreating. I know in past relationships that I've been in, I can identify when the individual, my boyfriend, let's say, was in fear about losing me. He would be very grasping, very possessive, very much like buying me a lot of things, just showering me with gifts, spoiling me in hopes that it would keep me. And that was his way of trying to save something that was falling. And for me personally, that just repelled me even more. It's because there was fears being exercised, fears on his end, and that's how he would expel them, and that's how I would then react. And for me personally, when it comes to my own fears, when I fear of losing someone, or fear of getting feelings, or fear of entering into a space of love, I retreat, I abandon, I neglect. When really, when it comes back to that example of a garden, why wouldn't I water that with unconditional love? Why wouldn't I just keep going on uninhibited the way that I was before? And it's because I was not recognizing that I was in fear versus love. I was choosing fear versus love. And that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this today, is because we are facing a pandemic. And yes, like I said, it's okay to be in fear. It's okay to, you know, cope however you're coping. As long as you're answering to your soul each day, you're taking care and you're nourishing yourself. But I want to challenge you to choose an abundant path of love through this, to walk through this confidently and sure of yourself. And how do you do that? You get in alignment with love, because love is who you truly are. Love feels good. It feels good when you're in love, and it doesn't feel good when you're in fear. And I'm using love and fear as two big concepts here, but as I identified, fear can show up as neglect, retreating, possessiveness. It can show up all different ways, because when we are triggered by fear, we tend to take action or don't take action at all based on how those feelings show up for us and how we believe we know how to cope with them. Whereas when we're in love, love is joy, happiness, abundance, freedom and liberation from our own egos, from our own fears. And when we are in that love and that light, you know that feeling, you're unstoppable. You know that feeling, you are in a state of trust with the universe that everything is working in your favor. So my business partner, Lauren Saunders, and I, we do the Lo and Zo show together. We've developed a 30-day program, which is only $97 for a group coaching program. This is the cheapest any of our programs will ever be. We're making it very accessible to anyone out there who is looking for a community to move through this more empowered than ever before. We want you to learn how to identify when you are in fear in your life versus when you are in love in your life. Exercise that to the point where you've built that muscle so it's no longer a part of who you are. You walk through your life in complete confidence in those areas. You walk through those areas in love. And we've developed this 30-day program as a group coaching program because we know that when other people uplift each other, when other people support each other, when we have that collective intention as a group to move through different fears in our life empowered, that's when we come out winners. So we've specifically developed this program called Fear to Freedom to move you through this pandemic, through this next month, empowered, because when it comes down to it, you guys, if you can learn how to develop these skills when the collective consciousness is in fear, when the world is facing something such as a pandemic, imagine the resiliency you're gonna have when you get out of this. If you're taking the time to develop this awareness in your mind, develop these skills in your mind, develop this part of your mentality, you're gonna be unstoppable. It doesn't matter, because when you're in love and when you're in that alignment, you know, like I've spoken to you guys about, your 2 feet are planted on the ground and there's nothing that is going to get in your way. There's no wind that's going to blow you over. You just simply adjust your sails and you keep on that course of love, abundance, the future that you want for yourself. Water the garden of your own mind, water the garden of your own empowerment, and there is nothing that you can't do. So, like I said, this is a 30-day program available until Friday evening, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's a group program, 4 weeks, $97. Coaching with Lauren and I, there's modules in there, there's workbooks. We really want you guys to develop the level of trust that you have with the universe, with the path that you're on, and your internal compass inside, that one that is identifying when you are in fear, how to move it back into love, and identifying what may trigger you and what may spiral you into those places of fear. And we want to encourage you guys to always choose love. The world needs love right now. The world does not need a collective group of people feeding off of each other's fears. The world needs people choosing to share their light, share their love, share their abundance with the world right now, because that is what is going to have us coming out of this stronger than ever before. So I'm calling on you, light workers. We really want you guys to step up to the plate, really empower yourselves through this situation that we're all in, and share the light and the gifts that you have with the entire world, because that is what is going to get us through this situation so much faster. I'll be leaving the links to Fear to Freedom down below, and I'll also be leaving the Lo and Zo show down below. Lauren and I did a very special episode on navigating this mass awakening and coming from a space of love, so be sure to check that out, and I'll be seeing you guys again very soon. Bye!